In your home study, you will find 9 training modules, complete with workbooks and audio downloads. We recommend you print out each module's workbook, use it to follow along, and take notes.
There are a lot of properties out there for sale, but savvy investors know some of the best buys in real estate aren't listed by a real estate agent. The best deals are off-market, motivated seller properties that have to be discovered. And it takes due diligence, ambition, and a hunger for the big payoff. It's not impossible to get good deals on listed properties too, but there's a whole host of things getting in the way of a really great deal. Instead, when you focus your efforts on finding off-market properties, it's a lot easier to get a good deal. Here's why. There's less competition. When you're looking for off-market deals, your competition is limited to other investors who might be using the same deal-finding strategies as you. When you use the advanced deal-finding strategies we've shared here, you can keep the great deals coming across your desk and cherry-pick only the best ones. Also, there's no middleman. Listed properties, especially the good deals, have lots of moving parts. In essence, too many people in the middle of the acquisition process. There's the seller, the listing agent, the buying agent, and most likely their staff members. Too many cooks in the kitchen. But when you're focused on off-market deals, it's you and the seller. Making the effort to find off-market deals pays off even better on the back-end profits. When there's too much competition and too many cooks in the kitchen, you lose flexibility to negotiate. And one of the biggest advantages in acquiring great deals on investment real estate is the ability to be nimble and negotiate your deals to a win-win outcome, whether it's price or terms, or even better, both. Without a doubt, the most successful people in the business work to create their own deal-finding pipeline. They use multiple strategies. Their targets are those high-margin, off-market properties that can consistently produce deal after deal. Whether your end goal is wholesaling, to fix and flip, or to buy and hold, this is the way to go. No matter which strategy you use, you need the basics: a mobile phone and internet access. You'll also need business cards. While we're on the subject of business cards, when you're focused on buying a house, you need a card that clearly states that. A quick internet search will get you some very good examples of "we buy houses" type cards. Once you've determined a design, there are great online sources where you can easily design and order very affordable cards. For some of the other strategies, you'll need more resources to get your deal pipeline going. Marketing materials. You may need flyers, postcards for mailing, direct mail letters, and mailing lists. We'll go into detail with each strategy, so as you determine your best approach, you'll know what you need to make it happen. And you're going to need a team. Whether you've got bird dogs working with you, Bandit signs being placed, or real estate brokers scouting for deals, it pays to build a team to help the deals coming in. The great thing about off-market deals is there's so many ways to find them. Sure, the MLS may be easy and you may find a good deal every now and then, but it won't get you consistent results. So getting the great deals simply means you're going to have to get focused and create your own deal pipeline. You're basically using your determination, skill, and knowledge to create your own personal for sale by owner buying opportunities. Depending on your personal and financial goals and your resources, you can use as many or as little as the deal finding strategies we've outlined here and cover in detail in the other segments. Before we start to take a look at all the different ways to find great real estate investment deals, a couple of points are critical. The person who consistently finds great deals can be even more successful than the person with A-plus credit or those who can't successfully market for qualified leads. With that being said, you've undoubtedly heard that the number one rule of real estate is location. That's not so for the real estate investor. The number one rule of investment real estate is motivation. Not your motivation, though that's important. It's the motivation of the seller that underpins some of the best deals in real estate. There are a lot of reasons that a seller might be motivated. Their home's in need of too many repairs, bad tenants, pending foreclosure, relocation, divorce, inheritance, and many, many more. So finding properties whose owner is motivated is going to be key to your success, and it's really not that hard. So other than seeing a for sale by owner sign stuck in the yard, how do you find these off-market motivated seller deals? Not every home that can be purchased will have a sign, but there's lots of ways to find these hidden gems. By creating your own for sale by owner opportunities, you'll have a winning formula for taking down great deals. One of the most cost-effective ways to find off-market deals is through your personal network and the networks of those you know. In the networking segment, we've outlined some great information on the subject. And as you get the word out that you're buying houses, you'll be surprised at how many leads you can generate by simply purposefully working your network for off-market deals. Whether it's the mail carrier, your banker, your professional group, or pizza delivery guy, you can engage your network in building and maintaining your deal pipeline. As you're engaging your network, you don't want to exclude real estate agents. While they traditionally list and sell typical properties, there are also agents who specialize in certain segments of the real estate market. Some focus on foreclosures, and the really ambitious agents take properties not yet focused on, whose value is less than the mortgage owed, and sell them as a short sale. In essence, the bank will, in best case scenarios, accept an offer that is short of the mortgage payoff. For the real estate investor, short sale listings can give you an advantage. Most home buyers cannot deal with the uncertainty of when or if a bank will accept their offer. As an investor, you can make short sale offers without this overriding concern. We've taken a look at using short sale acquisitions. Check it out and see if it's a strategy that could work for you and your endgame. Another simple, though not as cost-effective way to find deals is driving for dollars. Maybe you have a target area where you'd like to find deals. Make a point to drive it. Look for those homes that have the potential to be good deals. If you're not sure about what a potential good deal looks like, study the segment on driving for dollars. It's covered there. And in the course of your normal commuting around your town, take a side street every now and then and scout for these off-market deals. Explore the area. Get out and talk to people. Share business cards and flyers. People are often happy to talk to you when you tell them that you want to buy that ugly rundown house that's an eyesore in their neighborhood. Since driving for dollars is something that's easy to do and can happen just about any time that you're out and about, be sure to take a look at the details we've outlined on being really effective at driving for dollars. While we're on the subject of driving an area and looking for deals, you'll want to consider using bird dogs to help you find great deals. Bird dogs are those people you work with who are scouting areas for you. Since you can't be everywhere all of the time, bird dogs can expand your reach and keep leads coming your way. Setting up a couple of good bird dogs to work with is a simple process, but deserves to be set up properly so that your bird dogs keep bringing deals your way. We've dedicated an entire segment to bird dogs because they've been proven to work. If you think adding bird dogs to your deal finding strategies can work for you, be sure to get the details in the segment using bird dogs to find deals. You may also want to consider combining bird dogging with bandit signs. Bandit signs are a highly effective way at getting a lot of leads. A word of caution, however, it's more difficult to control the quality of leads with bandit signs. Quantity's not a problem, but since your bandit signs will attract callers of all kinds, be prepared to take a lot of calls on leads that might not be worth looking at. But there are a lot of ways to make sure you get better leads, whether it's timing, location, or more. Be sure to check out the segment we've presented on the effective use of bandit signs. With technology, you can also identify good sources of motivated sellers. Craigslist can be an incredible resource for finding off-market deals. In one of our segments, you'll find a step-by-step guide on searching Craigslist, as well as strategies for marketing yourself through ads to get sellers calling you. You can also find deals through Zillow.com and ForSaleByOwner.com. The key to effectively using these sites is to only contact sellers who have a couple of key characteristics. Typically, there's no real estate agent involved. The property has equity and the seller has some sort of motivation. Think about combining technology with direct mail, and it's like turning on a faucet that flows with good quality leads. Let's talk more about direct mail. It's one of the most effective ways to reach motivated sellers. There are many, many ways to identify and market to motivated sellers. And even though it's not the cheapest, you'll get results. You can mail to everyone. So who makes a good candidate to receive your mail? How about properties that have been inherited? Or mailing to individuals facing foreclosure? Mailing lists are available, or you can check your county records and make your own list. What about absentee owners? They often get tired of trying to manage a property that's not in their home city. You can also find this information in your area's tax records, or it's even easier to buy a mailing list. Burned out landlords can also be a great source. There are a lot of accidental landlords out there too. Checking the eviction records in your city can help you find potentially motivated landlords ready to dump that headache of a house. If you have particular areas where you want to buy houses, consider farming those areas. You can get mailing lists for target areas and pare your list down to only those with equity. We'll go into detail on making the most of direct mail in our segment dedicated to this topic. As you generate good quality leads, you may also want to consider door knocking. You can walk an area, talk with neighbors, or just cold call any number of potential homes. You can also go door knocking after you've identified potential addresses using direct mail, driving for dollars, bandit signs, or even your own online search results. And when you do, be prepared to talk. You will meet new people, and you'll have to be ready to talk about yourself and your interest in buying their house. It's also a great opportunity to place flyers and share your business cards. As you move forward in developing your deal finding methods, study each carefully. Map out a plan for your acquisition, what kind of deals you want. Are you looking to wholesale properties, fix and flip, or is buying and holding your game? Take into consideration what resources you'll need, what methods will work best in your target acquisition area, and your exit strategy. Think who you can enlist to help you bring in good quality leads. A well-executed plan can kickstart your deals and keep them coming. Great deals are being made every single day. And while you may find it hard to believe, you can buy houses for pennies on the dollar. The key is to know how to make it happen and then get busy doing it. Not every house can be bought that will have a for sale by owner sign, and that's okay because those without the sign in the yard will have very little competition. We've detailed different methods that we know work. It's up to you to determine which deal finding method will work for you to keep your deal pipeline full and quality leads constantly coming your way.
The Connected Investors app connects you with investors, notifies you of available properties, helps locate cash buyers, and secure private funding to close deals. Set up in seconds to become a member of the Connected Investors social network. Now you can scroll through your main feed to find cash buyers, see investment properties not available to the general public, and network with investors by adding your own comments to a thread to keep the conversation going. The Control Center is your connection to add properties to sell, start new discussions, connect with local investors, and even find private funding. The Notifications tab will keep you alerted to new investment properties and offers. You'll also find new friend requests to connect directly with the community to build your network. From the property marketplace, you'll be able to find, favorite, and make offers on investment properties. Download Connected Investors today to find, figure, fund, and flip investment properties on the go.
Finding deals on properties with defaulted mortgages offers opportunities at 3 very different entry points. If you're early in the game, you're working with homeowners whose lender has not yet placed the home up for auction. These are pre-foreclosures, and they offer great buying opportunities and can also keep the owner from losing everything at the courthouse sale. The next step in the foreclosure process is another opportunity to buy defaulted property, and this happens at the courthouse auction. Things get competitive here. Since the property has had legal notices filed, the world is watching and people are bidding. Then there are properties that get no bids at the auction, initiating the next step in the foreclosure process, a bank-owned REO property. After the no-bid auction closes, the lender takes possession of the property and lists it for sale with a real estate broker on the MLS, the multiple listing service. You can buy defaulted properties at any stage of the foreclosure process, but it's a very different animal for each. Each buying opportunity offers pros and cons. So let's take a closer look at each. This can help you determine which method works best for you. Let's start with the initial stage of foreclosure, the pre-foreclosure, when your goal is to purchase properties prior to the bank taking further action. You'll need the following: a pre-foreclosure list. These are available in some markets for purchase, or you can pull a courthouse notice of default records. Marketing materials and methods. This could be business cards, flyers, or direct mail pieces like postcards or letters. You can also use Craigslist to market more broadly. Phone, internet, and, most importantly, a Connected Investors website. At the pre-foreclosure stage, you're working to purchase properties directly from a homeowner with a defaulted mortgage. This has advantages and disadvantages. Working with sellers in default can be very emotionally charged and challenging, but this can often pay off because you have less competition than properties that are openly advertised for auction or are an REO. Since you're working directly with the owner, you also have more flexibility in negotiations, timelines, and scheduled move-outs. You're also affording the opportunity to inspect the home and complete all of your due diligence, something that's a bigger challenge when the property is on the auction block. Due diligence is important in any step of the process, but with pre-foreclosures, you have even better opportunities for title searches and, just as important, clearing liens. It's not uncommon to find liens that you can negotiate to pennies on the dollar to make a good deal even better. In some cases, the owner may have abandoned the home, and in those cases, you'll have to determine if the location and the equity makes it a worthwhile additional effort to locate the owner to negotiate the deal. Pre-foreclosure marketing is an exercise in patience and diligence. Identifying good target properties varies depending on your location. Some areas have services that sell lists of default properties. You'll want to look for a local service rather than a nationwide website whose listings may not be as accurate or as up to date. If you're investing outside of your local area, do your homework and find out the best source for pre-foreclosure listings in that area. Some investors conduct independent searches of their local courthouse records to identify good properties, focusing on homes with equity, or even those in great locations without equity, as these can make good short sale candidates. How you locate your target properties is really a question of the amount of time you have to devote to the process. Once you have your list of defaulted properties, it's very likely you'll have to attempt to contact the owner multiple times. Remember, owners in pre-foreclosure are typically being hounded by bill collectors, so getting your message across to them takes time and repetition. Direct mail marketing is a good way to market to pre-foreclosures, but it can tap into your wallet and your time. But it does pay off when you stick with it, and you take the time to identify those good target properties. For more on using direct mail, check out the chapter we've dedicated to this. You can also market to pre-foreclosures using Craigslist. Find more on that in our Craigslist chapter. And when you want to speed up the process of connecting with owners, follow the steps we outlined in the door knocking chapter. You can also find great articles inside Connected Investors, as well as connect with real estate investors who are actually doing the business to ask and get answers to your questions in real time. Develop a pre-foreclosure list of target properties, advertised on Craigslist for distressed properties. Contact the owners via direct mail or door knocking. Pre-foreclosure investing is lucrative and has many advantages over buying defaulted properties at the courthouse, auction, or as a bank-owned REO. There's definitely less competition and more flexibility when buying using this process, but finding and contacting the owners of pre-foreclosure properties requires patience, good marketing, and a budget. When a homeowner is unable to cure the default on their property, either through bringing the loan current or selling the property, the lender then orders the house to be sold at the courthouse auction. Some auctions are smaller, local sales held by foreclosure trustees, while others are large regional auctions held by private companies on behalf of lenders. In either case, bidding at the auction requires that you've done your homework. You understand exactly what you're buying, and you know what you're willing to pay, and you have the cash or the cashier's check on hand as required by the auction. Good deals can be found at foreclosure auctions, but it's definitely buyer beware. In some cases, it's not easy and sometimes even impossible to inspect the property prior to bidding. At auction, there's no contingencies, as there can be with pre-foreclosures and REO buying. Once you've committed, you are committed, and you can lose significant sums of money if you try to back out of the deal. Another pitfall to buying at the courthouse is the occupant's rights. Yes, even if a foreclosure happens and the bid closes, there may be occupants, either the previous owners or tenants. Moving them out can be a laborious and costly process. Between this, the condition of the home, and the underlying liens, there should be enough to convince you that thorough due diligence is critical. When buying at the auction, there are great deals to be had. The key is to mitigate your risk and not get caught up in a bidding war and overpay for the property. If you've determined that buying at the auction is for you, then here's what you'll need: auction listings, due diligence assistance, a title company or a closing attorney, and cash on hand to secure your bid. Finding properties up for bid can be as simple as searching the legal notices in your local newspaper. Look for either notice of sale or sheriff's sale listings. You may also find upcoming auctions posted at your local courthouse. Ask where you can find the public notices, and depending on your area, you'll find upcoming sales posted in a conspicuous public area. In larger markets, it's likely you can find sales posted by regional auction companies. In either case, once you've identified target properties, you can begin the process of assessing the property and completing your mandatory due diligence, such as, what are the values in the neighborhood? What is the condition of the property and the surrounding homes? Is the property occupied? What title issues need to be discovered? Are there liens that can be gotchas? What am I willing to pay for the property? How much cash is needed to secure my bid? Locate local auction listings. Identify target properties for bidding. Complete due diligence to mitigate risk and assess profit potential. And prepare for bidding. Set your max price and have the cash on hand. Bidding at the courthouse can get you good deals, but there's risk in that reward. You have to do your homework, and you have to stick to your guns and avoid getting caught up in the bidding wars. The key here is buyer beware. The last stop in the sales process of defaulted homes is the REO, or real estate owned, often called bank-owned properties. When a property does not sell at the courthouse auction, the lender then takes possession and lists the property for sale through a local real estate broker. There are advantages and disadvantages to buying defaulted properties as REOs. The first and most obvious is competition. Not only will you be competing with other investors, but you may compete with owner-occupants as well, who are typically willing to pay more for a house. But not all REOs are attractive to the owner-occupants. Many REOs need work, and some will not qualify for bank financing. So unless the owner-occupant buyer has deep pockets, properties that don't meet lending guidelines are not an option. Buying REOs versus bidding at the courthouse has some distinct advantages. First, you can do a complete inspection. And if your offer is accepted, you can usually include a walk clause, meaning you can walk from the deal if your due diligence uncovers a deal breaker for you. Next, when you buy REO, the property has been trashed out, meaning the lender's asset management company has not only come in and removed all the personal items left behind and done some basic yard care, they've also evicted any straggler occupants. Plus, in most areas, any junior liens are extinguished once the lender forecloses. But there's yin and yang to that as well. If you buy defaulted property direct from the owner as a pre-foreclosure, you may still have to remove personal items and spiff up the yard, but with the competition at bay, you're typically getting a much better buy, and there aren't any real estate agent commissions adding to the cost of the sale. Yet on the other hand, cleaning out liens on the property can negate that savings. When buying REO properties, you'll need access to the MLS, or even better, a great real estate broker who notifies you of new REO listings, a title agent or closing attorney, the resource to close the deal. We're talking about cash or capital. REO properties that are a great deal typically don't stay on the market very long. In fact, the best deals usually have multiple offers in just a day or two. When this happens, you'll need to submit your highest and best offer to compete with other potential buyers. When buying REO, you may have to make offers on many different properties to finally land a deal. Because of this, it's not uncommon for offers to be made sight unseen. Since the buyer typically has an inspection period and walk clause, the risk is less than bidding at the courthouse steps. The key to staying on top of new REO listings is to have an aggressive agent working on your behalf who can be ready to submit your offer quickly. A good real estate agent is a huge asset to any real estate investor. So when you find a good one, do everything you can to keep them on your side. You can also do your own footwork locating deals. There are a number of websites that list REOs on a national level, including Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, and HUD, in addition to just your local MLS. When buying REOs, you'll need a couple of things to get your offer submitted. First, you'll need to make a deposit when your offer is accepted, and you'll need to provide a proof of funds letter as part of your package. This letter is confirmation for the seller that you have either the cash or a loan available to buy the property. Lenders don't want properties on their books once they're listed for sale, so they want assurance that the buyer has the funds to close the deal. You'll also need to have your title agent or closing attorney on standby to complete any legal due diligence during your inspection period. Locate potential REOs through a real estate broker or your own research. Complete your due diligence. Submit your offer with a deposit and proof of funds. REOs, while competitive, can be a great source of deals. The well-prepared investor has a good agent working on his or her behalf, has funds available for a deposit, and can provide the seller the funds that are available to close the deal. Many investors have made their fortune buying defaulted properties. Because there are 3 distinct entry points for purchasing default properties, it's simply a matter of determining which method suits your level of confidence, your capital resources, and your exit strategies. Pre-foreclosures and REOs may be considered the least risky buys because you can access the property for a full assessment, and you have more control over the liens that may be clouding the title and transferring of ownership. Lenders are in the lending business, not the housing business. This provides great opportunities for investors at every level to purchase investment properties at great prices.
Hey Alexa, open up Connected Investors and find me a flip.
Alexa, find me a flip. Make that 2 flips.
Hey Alexa, open Connected Investors. Find me more flips.
Hey, it's me, Alexa. Would you like more information on micro flipping real estate? I can help. Just visit microflip.us or tap the link in this video. See you there.
Unless you've been living in a cave, you know the power of networking for building business. Networking gets results, and when done well, networking won't cost you a lot of money. Just the opposite. It will make you money. And just like other types of marketing, effective networking can deliver deals over and over again. But the trick is actually doing it and taking advantage of every opportunity to introduce yourself and your business. Whether it's at an event or in the moment when you can seize a quick opportunity to share your business interest and contact info. Networking is both an art and a science. Some people find networking easy and natural, while others struggle to make the connections they need to keep business flowing. And unlike other forms of marketing, it's a low-risk, high-reward activity. We tapped into the pros at the nation's largest and most successful house buying company, Homevestors, to help provide a full overview on how networking contributes to the success of real estate investors everywhere. In this session, we'll address both the art and science of networking. So whether you're a seasoned pro or just getting your business launched, you'll learn some of the best approaches to building your business through networking and finding great deals on real estate. Unlike direct mail, Bandit signs, and other forms of marketing, networking is more about taking action and seizing opportunities than the tangibles like signs and mailing lists. While there are some basic tools you need for networking your business, like business cards, a business phone, email, and a contact list, the real results come from what you do rather than the specific tools you use. As you consider the different methods you can use for finding deals on real estate, one thing stands out about networking. It is not optional. It's a must. You can choose whether or not to use other forms of property acquisition, but when it comes to networking, it happens, planned or not. It happens at real estate and industry events, and it happens in the moment, at restaurants, grocery stores, on the golf course, or at parties. With every conversation you have about yourself and your business, you're building your personal brand as a real estate investor. This is where the art and science of networking come into play. The science is in the deliberate steps you take, things like attending events and utilizing your connected investors network. But the art of networking lies in the picture you paint of yourself as an investor. It's the impression you make and leave with your contacts that can build or bust your business. Networking happens by design or by simple circumstance. The key is to do it in a way that creates continuous business referrals directly to you. You are ready to share your business interest by being ready no matter where you are or what you're doing. Let's start with the science of networking. It's up for debate, but most would say that the science of networking is easier than the art of networking. The science of networking is simply those measurable things you can do. For example, I went to 2 meetups and a connected investors meeting this month. It's given that you should network at local events where you'll meet people who constantly buy, sell, and trade properties. You got to get out there. When you do, you can make things happen through the art of networking, leaving positive, lasting impressions with the people you meet. For now, let's think of a few people and places where you're likely to make great contacts. And think outside the box, not just people and events directly related to selling houses. What about home inspectors, appraisers, attorneys specializing in bankruptcy and estate, auctioneers, estate planners? Would it make sense to network with those involved in code enforcement? I mean, they know where all the problem homes are. You can get referrals from all kinds of sources, so keep an open mind. Everybody knows someone with a house. The key is being the first in line when they're ready to sell. In addition to the people, think of the places you can network to build your business. We already mentioned meetup.com and connectedinvestors.com. Well, you'll find listings of local events specifically for real estate. Another good way to connect with real estate professionals is at a local RIA. And a RIA meeting is a Real Estate Investors Association. Some look at RIAs as places with a lot of competition. But the fact is, by staying in front of and consistently connecting with wholesalers, seasoned investors, and landlords, you're sure to find a deal. It is important to consistently attend local meetings. More often than not, it will take several meetings before you get your first deal. So keep showing up. So the science of networking simply means that you set realistic weekly and monthly goals for attending meetings to make follow-up contacts. It's tangible and it's planned. After an event, plan some time for follow-up on your efforts. We've all done it. We've gathered up business cards only to see them tossed in a desk drawer, when in reality, those cards can be a source of continuous business referrals when you, pardon the pun, play your cards right. This is when the art of networking comes into play. Remember, the fortune is in the follow-up. I'll say it again. The fortune is in the follow-up. The art of networking is really about creating lasting impressions with your contacts, building your brand, so to speak. You want to position yourself as a solution provider, someone who can make another person's job easier. The goal is to become top of the mind when someone thinks of a house buyer/investor. In essence, you're a professional problem solver when it comes to those problems that people have who need to sell properties quickly. Just met someone new? Got the business card? It's a perfect opportunity to create your brand with that new contact. Play to your strengths. Great on the phone? Call them the following day. Recap the discussion you may have had and ask for referrals. Better at writing? Send them a quick email, or better yet, a handwritten note that they'll toss in the desk drawer for future reference. And make sure to friend them on social media accounts. Paint a picture in people's mind that you are the person to contact. Networking goes beyond you and your contact. Always ask for referrals to others who may know someone with a property to sell. We all know it works online. A quick post can get you a referral to a good mechanic or dry cleaner. Whatever it is you're looking for, it works for real estate too. And while online is great, it's not your only game if you want to be successful. Before the internet, face-to-face interactions worked. They worked then, and they work now. Another important thing to remember is that successful networking isn't always about, hey, I need something. The art of good networking requires that you share too. Have a great contractor? Share it with your real estate contacts. It's as simple as a quick email to your contact list or a mention during a conversation. You can say something like, Greg, my contractor, just did another great job for me on my most recent property flip. I highly recommend his work, so if you know of anyone, have them call Greg at 555-5555. 55. The benefits are threefold. 1, you create another opportunity to contact individuals. 2, you solidify the fact that you're in the game by providing value or mentioning your recent project. And 3, when you build Greg's business, you build your own. Guess who he's going to make referrals to when he hears about house buying opportunities? He may even give you a break on some of your future work. No matter your experience or comfort level with networking, there are simple things to remember that will serve you well when you meet a new contact. Look for off-ramps or similarities, other things to talk about that can open up a conversation. It could be a logo on a hat or a picture on a wall, anything that allows you to carry on a casual conversation, which leads to asking open-ended questions. Remember, most people love to talk about themselves, especially if they're nervous when they first meet someone new. So make sure to avoid a lot of questions with yes or no answers. It won't keep the conversation flowing. Paint a positive, professional picture of yourself as an investor. Even something as simple as your email address sends a message about who you are. You might want to dump the Yahoo email address for a business account. Get a good quality business card and make sure to present yourself as a professional. At Homevestors, you'll notice the associates wear a polo shirt embroidered with the Homevestors brand and have professional-looking marketing materials. Take every opportunity you can to introduce yourself and your business. It's all about carpe diem when you're building your network. Finally, always remember to create win-win scenarios. As you continue to network, you'll be meeting high-level contacts. You can provide instant value to these high-level contacts by simply introducing each other. And then when you need an introduction, you're much more likely to receive it. You've got your business cards. You have a professional email address and phone used for business. You've done your homework and discovered all the places where you can meet the right people. You've set your goal and have a plan to get out there and do a lot of follow-up. The next step is to master the art of networking. Make a conscious effort to paint yourself as a problem solver. Nurture your brand, leaving positive, lasting impressions, helping others, and always asking for referrals. Networking happens, whether you're ready or not. So why not be ready? You can plan for your networking opportunities, but you have to be ready when the opportunity arises. When you develop a strong network, you're really just building a system of continuous business referrals. And it's a great feeling to pick up the phone and on the other end is someone who's ready to sell you that perfect deal. There's a whole world of networking and education that can be found at connectedinvestors.com. At Connected Investors, we are committed to the success of real estate investors and offer a great marketplace for not only learning the real estate investing business, but also buying and selling real estate. most successful real estate investors often wear a lot of different hats: finding deals, negotiating and leveraging deals, funding acquisitions, managing their teams, and more. Without a doubt, one of the most important parts is finding deals. And arguably, the second most important is leverage of both your time and money. You can leverage both. To win at the real estate game, you have to delegate and get others on your team who can free up your time. Then you can focus on the most lucrative aspects of making deals. Here's where bird dogging comes in. You can be a bird dog and scout properties for other investors in exchange for a finder's fee. And you can do it in your spare time while learning the basics of real estate investing. You're simply finding potential deals and sharing that property information with your investor. If and when your investor closes the deal, you get paid a finder's fee. It's that simple. But if you're really trying to leverage your time, you can recruit bird dogs to do the property scouting for you. A good bird dog can be invaluable to your business. First, you'll free up your time. Why take the time driving for dollars when you can have a stable of bird dogs working their eyes and ears all around your community? The end result? A steady stream of leads that you wouldn't have had otherwise. And having bird dogs on your team is a really affordable way to increase your leads. There's very little upfront cost. And if your bird dogs don't bring you quality leads you can close, then you're not out of pocket. Very few marketing strategies offer this advantage. Having bird dogs on your team allows you to leverage your time, energy, and money. It's a low-cost way to acquire properties for sale by motivated sellers, and it keeps a steady flow of potential properties to make offers on. To get started using bird dogs to find deals, you'll need a phone, internet access and email, and instructions for your bird dogs. Here's what you'll need to know before you add bird dogging to your business. Whether you plan on doing it yourself or hiring a few people to scout properties for you in your target areas, you'll need to recruit. Finding the best bird dogs can take some time, but it's well worth the effort. You'll need to coach your bird dogs, not only to get them started, but also to guide them as they start bringing you deals. And like any business, you'll need to manage your people and deals. Everything from how to send you leads, responding to leads, and paying quickly when a lead becomes a deal. Who makes a good bird dog? When recruiting bird dogs, you're not looking for the perpetually unemployed. You want a motivated individual who's looking for extra income on their schedule and on their terms. The best bird dogs are busy, have good transportation, and know a lot of people. A cell phone and computer access is a must. And don't be afraid to utilize your own network for bird dogs. Ask your mail carrier, the lawn guy, your hairstylist, or anyone who's regularly out and about in your community. And don't forget about your local RIA, fellow connected investors, and hungry college students. And you can even recruit real estate agents to scout those off-market properties for you. Realtors spend a lot of time driving neighborhoods, and having a team of realtors ready to bring you not yet listed deals puts you way ahead of the game. Make it easy for them to bring you deals and get paid. You can also recruit bird dogs through classified ads. Online on Craigslist or social media, or in your local print publications. Your ad could read something like this: Wanted, property scouts. I'm a real estate investor looking for individuals to help me find properties to purchase. Make $500 or more for helping me find houses. I'm not looking for houses listed by realtors. I'm looking for distressed homes and sellers, vacant houses, and homes in need of repair. If you know a lot of people, go a lot of places, and have a camera phone and internet access, contact me today to learn more. Of course, put your own spin on it, but be sure to include what's in it for them and the absolute must-haves, like a phone and computer. www.reicartoon.com has professionally scripted videos you can use to recruit bird dogs. You can put this very same information out there on your own network. As you meet people, mention that you're looking for bird dogs. Maybe even include something on the back of your business card that says you're looking for properties and pay referral fees. Everyone you know is familiar with different parts of your area, has a different network, and goes about their day-to-day business somewhere other than you. Get more eyes and ears out there working for you, and you will see your lead generation increase. If you're dealing with potential bird dogs new to real estate, then your bird dogs will need some training to get ramped up. You'll need to coach them on the kinds of properties you're looking for and how to identify homes that could be potential deals. Ignore this step and you'll be contacted with properties that you just can't make a deal on. It's a waste of time and energy. Be clear, you're not looking for properties already listed by a realtor. You want those off-market properties that you can purchase directly from the owner. That said, realtors can still be an invaluable resource. Before you even bring on your first bird dog, your best bet is to sit down and make up a simple set of instructions that include your criteria: how to identify properties, how to submit properties for your consideration, and info on how you will pay them on your deals. Another really important factor when working with bird dogs is good management and communication. When you get a new lead, let your bird dog know right away that the information was received. Give them some indication of when you will review the lead and contact the seller. When and if you make an offer, let your bird dog know. This keeps your bird dog motivated and helps them understand what kind of properties are good candidates for your consideration. The opposite is true as well. If your bird dog sends you a property that does not fit your buying criteria, let them know. Be sure to tell them why you don't have an interest and use this opportunity to help them focus on your target property types. So here's your to-do list in getting started with bird dogs. Identify your property types, areas, and price range. Be ready when you start recruiting. Put together your bird dog instructions. Include property types, how to submit properties for your review, and how you'll pay them. Recruit. Use your own network or advertise. Create your ad for recruiting and making contacts within your own network. Have one of two things ready to go before you start. If you're buying, have some funding ready to go, so when a deal comes along, you're able to buy it. As you're thinking about bird dogging, don't limit your bird dog's activities to driving neighborhoods. They can do a lot more for you. Some bird dogs, with some grooming, can even become a partner. Get them involved in searching for courthouse foreclosures, working Craigslist ads, placing Bandit signs, and more. If you're considering being a bird dog, the key to keeping the checks coming in is finding an active investor who's always looking for deals. Connected Investors is a great place to start. Once you know their buying criteria, start sourcing neighborhoods, working the classified ads, and telling everyone you know that you're on the hunt for houses. So that's the basics of bird dogging. You can learn even more at connectedinvestors.com, where you'll find resources on this topic and others like using Craigslist to find deals, Bandit signs, networking, and a whole lot more. Just remember, leverage is important in real estate, whether it's your time or money. Bird dogs can help you leverage both. A good bird dog can bring you leads that you'd never come across otherwise. unless you're out driving for dollars yourself or spending tons of cash on marketing, and that's not leveraging your time or money. Putting bird dogs to work for you is a simple and effective way to boost your business with very little upfront cash and time investment. You know, sometimes in business we overcomplicate things when simple solutions are right in front of us. And aren't we all looking for simple, effective, and inexpensive ways to do business? Whether you're new to finding great deals on real estate or you're experienced at taking down profitable deals, one tool we all take for granted because it's just there is Craigslist. We all know Craigslist to be a great online classified source for all sorts of items for sale, jobs listings, and more. And depending on how you use it, Craigslist can be a buffet or it can be a bust when you're looking for real estate deals. The key lies in knowing the best ways to take advantage of Craigslist. So in this session, we're going to focus on two primary approaches to finding real estate deals on Craigslist. The basic steps to finding deals on Craigslist are pretty simple, but we'll break them down even further for you. We'll start first with farming the listings that are already out there, and then we'll take a look at generating leads using Craigslist by posting your own ads that can get results. To make the most of Craigslist, there are just a few readily available tools you'll need: computer and internet access, a phone, email, and a connected investors account. So let's get started. Let's start first with farming the listings that are already out there. So to get started farming listings on Craigslist, you'll do some keyword searches. Scan the listings, look for indicators of great potential deals, complete some sort of inquiry, either by email or phone. So as you can see, the basics are pretty simple, but here's where people get tripped up. First, they don't use Craigslist regularly. Time is of the essence with Craigslist, and the deals posted there. Ads are like a moving target. With each new ad posted, others are moving down the list. So for the best results, you'll want to work the list regularly. Next, a lot of people don't even attempt to keep track of this moving target. It's pretty easy to keep track of which listings you've contacted when you don't overcomplicate it. And finally, they don't follow up beyond their initial contact. So you know how it is. Sometimes it takes more than one contact to start a real conversation with a seller. We'll address all of these so you can make Craigslist a simple and regular part of your deal finding routine. We'll give you the how. It's up to you to make it happen. And since it's so simple, effective, and inexpensive, all it takes is focus and regular time commitment to get the payoff. As you begin to search properties listed on Craigslist, the natural inclination is to go to real estate section and start scrolling through the real estate for sale and owner listings to find deals. Sure, that's one way to do it, but there are even better ways using keyword searches. Think about why people sell houses. It could be a bad rental property. It could be an estate that needs settled. It could be a divorce or any number of other reasons that create a motivated seller. And that's what we're looking for, the motivated seller. So let's start there with keyword motivated. As you search on Craigslist, you can enter the search term to search all listings, regardless of category. But you're going to get motivated boat, RV, and car sellers. And sometimes they may have a house to sell too. And maybe you want to inquire with a quick email or phone call saying, "Hi, my name is Joe Investor from Anytown. I saw your boat listing on Craigslist. I'm interested in buying a house and was wondering if you have a house you would like to sell. If so, contact me at 555-5555. It is a long shot, But like Wayne Gretzky said, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So let's look at an even better keyword when you're searching through all of the listings. Try the word estate. Here, you'll find all sorts of items for sale, but the difference is that the seller is usually selling off items to settle the estate of a deceased family member. And often there is a house to sell. So again, send the same email or make that call. There are a couple of other great keywords for searching the all section of Craigslist. Try the word divorce, TLC, fixer, must sell, and moving sale. If you'd like to narrow down your search, your best bet is to search within a Craigslist category instead of searching all of your local Craigslist. For an even more targeted search, it's best to go directly to real estate for sale. You can simply scan all the real estate for sale listings. This can be worthwhile because you'll get properties for sale by agents and owners. Often, agents will put their hard-to-sell properties on Craigslist, and occasionally you'll find a gem. But take it a step further and you can drill down even more when you use two basic search strategies. First, search within the by owner category, and then do your keyword searches. Finally, use the gallery view. You'll get pictures, and that can be helpful in scanning the listings for potentially good deals. Earlier, we talked about the 3 things that trip most people up when using Craigslist. Being inconsistent costs you deals. Make your Craigslist searches part of your weekly routine. For best results, depending on the amount of traffic and listings your area Craigslist receives, you'll want to search at least 3 times a week. Tracking and following up on your inquiries can be a simple routine as well. Because the listings are such a moving target, the absolute simplest way to keep track of your inquiries is to email yourself. Every time you make contact, either by phone or email a copy of the listing to yourself. You'll find a link on each listing that you can click the Email to a Friend button. Send the listing to yourself. Put it into a Craigslist email folder. This tip will help you keep track of where you were when you're working the listings. Plus, it makes follow-up as simple as checking your folder, looking at the ads you've contacted, and making a second contact. So we've talked about farming the listings on Craigslist. Now let's talk about placing your own ads to generate leads. Like farming the ads on Craigslist, placing your own ads also requires consistency. Make sure you have several ads running a day or two apart at all times to keep generating interest and improving your chances to get new leads. Everyone wants the perfect ad copy, but the perfect ad depends on you, your business, and how you want the world on Craigslist to view you. Even so, there are some key things that will get you better results in your ads. Remember, you're trying to generate leads. You want people to call you, email you, or visit your website and enter their information. You can control which of these methods of communication you prefer simply by what you choose to put in your ad. Here's the basic autonomy of a good Craigslist ad when you're advertising to buy houses. Think of your headline as the most valuable piece of real estate you have on Craigslist, because it is. You need an attention-grabbing headline. It needs to be so compelling they just have to click your ad. Think about that motivated seller you're looking for and write your headline for them. Always be sure to include the phrase, "We buy houses." Ads with images get more clicks. Make sure you have an attention-grabbing picture too. People who search using the gallery view are more likely to click your ad when there's a picture. And include at least 2 calls to action, like email today or call us for more information. Visit our website for more information. Those are all great examples. To make the most of your time and efforts in marketing yourself and your business, you'll want a Connected Investors account. It's a quick, easy, and affordable way to start promoting your own professional website. Sellers will know you're in business. When you hear about a business for the first time, what's the first thing you do? You'll look them up online. Now you'll have your own professional investor website with lead capture and follow-up. Be sure to visit connectedinvestors.com to get this all set up. Once you've designed the perfect ad for your business, you'll need to decide which Craigslist category to post your ad. Spreading your ads across categories gives you an edge. Remember, there's competition out there, so don't be afraid to use multiple categories to get better results. Of course, the real estate section is a great idea. You can choose housing offered real estate by owner because many people interested in selling are also looking at other people's ads. And housing wanted, real estate wanted is also a natural choice. Investors and your competition often overlook a category called services. Under this category, you can run ads in the financial services, household services, legal services, real estate services, and small business ads. Here are some of the realities of Craigslist. If you include your email address in a post, understand many spammers create programs that sift through Craigslist looking for email addresses. So if you write out your email address in a post, instead of keying in the actual @ sign, spell the word @ out with brackets around it. So if your email address is ibuyhouses@gmail.com, you'll write ibuyhouses, bracket, at, bracket, gmail.com. In addition, there are many software programs offered that accelerate using Craigslist. Spend a few months manually using Craigslist before you try to automate anything, or you're going to create a mess. And prior to purchasing any software or real estate products, make sure to ask the Connected Investors community what they use. Get non-biased reviews of all of the real estate software and products out there. Getting started finding deals using Craigslist is easy. Like you see, all you need is a computer, internet access, a phone, email, and a Connected Investors account. Finding deals using Craigslist isn't as complicated as you may think. Really, it's like a free buffet that you can belly up to anytime you want. But success requires consistency. Remember, ads are a moving target, whether they're yours or someone else's. They are always moving down the list with each new ad that gets posted. Real results require regular searching and posting, good keyword searches, posting targeted attention-grabbing ads, and following through and following up. Once you're set up with your resources, remember, consistency is king, along with simplifying and streamlining your process. You can get started today, and you can start getting real results today. It's simple, it's effective, and it's especially important for new investors. It's inexpensive and a great way to learn to talk with sellers. Remember, with every new communication, you're starting a new relationship with that seller. So practice makes perfect. Every call, every email takes you one step closer to closing a deal. There's a whole world of information on making the most of your Craigslist marketing at connectedinvestors.com. At Connected Investors, we're committed to the success of new and experienced real estate investors, and not only offer a great marketplace for education, but also give you a marketplace to buy and sell investment properties. Is your deal making at a standstill? Are you at a standstill? Then get moving. The easiest, fastest, and most direct way to get deals is driving for dollars. Yep, getting in the car and driving neighborhoods really does work and complements many other strategies we discuss. It's easy because it requires very little ramp-up time and hardly any technology to make it happen. And you've done it before. You'll do it again. We drive through neighborhoods all the time, just not with the same purpose. It's fast. You're going where deals are right now. And if you really do it right, you're making contact with the people who have a vested interest in the property. Driving for dollars is a technique every real estate investor uses, whether they realize it or not. And it's direct. No real estate agent. No competing with other investors who drive up the price and then waiting, hoping your offer is accepted. You get one-on-one with the people closest to the house, and you get the deal going in days. It's like creating your own FSBO, or for sale by owner. Driving for dollars is the mother of simplicity when you're looking for deals. The key is knowing what to look for, where to look, and what to bring. Driving for dollars has other advantages too. It's also the fastest way to learn a market or neighborhood, and knowing the market is a must. Plus, you can drive for dollars just about any time. Making a trip to the store? A quick detour to drive a neighborhood is always a good idea. If you're a new investor learning your market or a seasoned investor whose leads have dried up, driving for dollars can replenish your leads fast. Within days, you can make deals that can net you wholesale fees, or you can find deals with nice back-end profits for rehabbing or resale, or you can even convert these deals into rentals. Successful real estate investors know that you make money when you buy, and driving for dollars puts you directly in front of those deals. So now that you know you can get these deals right away, here's what you'll need: a destination, a car, a cell phone with camera, a note-taking tool, and you can also bring flyers and business cards with your web address on them. Driving for dollars is more than randomly cruising past houses, but that has a time and place too. For the best results, you should choose a destination, a target area. You'll save time, money, and effort when you focus on areas where your property types are located. Next, you need a mode of transportation. No doubt that in most areas, driving neighborhoods is the best way to go, but you can walk or ride your bike through neighborhoods as well. If you live in an urban area, walking or riding might be the best choice anyway. Your goal while you're out driving or riding should always be to get in front and talk to potential sellers, but that's not always possible. For the times when you can't speak with sellers, you need your phone and your camera for gathering information. If you're really on your game, you already have business cards and flyers. Take them with you to share around the neighborhood. So those are the basic steps. Now let's get busy and talk about the specifics. To put it all together, let's start with the destination in mind. If you're a fan of using Bandit signs, you know that deal finding is strategic. You're not just marketing randomly. You're carefully picking your target areas and focusing like a laser beam on them. And you know your end game. You know your exit strategy. You know where you want to focus your efforts to do the kinds of deals you're looking for. So let's start with the end game in mind. And it usually involves pricing. Where are the properties located that fit your price point? Your end game also typically involves condition. So we're not pointing the car in the direction of a new neighborhood with well-priced starter homes. We're looking for areas where we can identify distressed and abandoned properties. These kind of properties are in every type of neighborhood. So don't make the mistake of eliminating areas because you think there aren't good potentials. Look at your exit strategy. Look at your price point and map out your target area and hit the road. Before you go, remember, you're on a mission. This is not sightseeing. This is deal finding. You're out there to get info, share info, and in the best case scenario, talk to the people who know the area and the house best. The key when driving for dollars is eyes wide open. Whether you're on a planned drive or just passing through on your way somewhere else, always keep your eyes open for potential deals. As you're driving your target area, you're looking for a few key indicators that there could be a motivated seller. For instance, neglected yard or tall grass, broken up or boarded windows, an overflowing mailbox or piled up newspapers, code enforcement or other notices posted on the property, deferred maintenance like a bad roof or rotting wood, and even for sale by owner signs. In fact, you may even want to park your car and walk, save gas, get some exercise, and even better, you can get up close and personal with each property. And if your time is just right, you may get a chance to talk to a neighbor or two. So let's talk about timing. If you want deals fast, your best bet is to walk your neighborhoods during the weekend. You'll have the best chance to talk to neighbors, gather information, and leave your information with those same neighbors. See the chapter on networking, as the same rules apply. People are watching these homes. Homeowners in the area do not like run-down, empty houses. And now look who just arrives. You, just in time to save the day. Super investor who wants to buy it and fix it and make it all right and good in the neighborhood. People will talk to you. And if you really want to get deals done and get them fast, you'll get out of the car and make it happen. So go on, super investor. Get out there and make it happen. You can't assume that you'll get to talk to someone. So let's make sure your driving for dollars is still a success. Use your cell phone to take photos. Make notes that will allow you to follow up on the lead. There are great apps out there like Evernote. This app allows you to take pictures and make notes all in one. Use that info to do some follow-up, locate the owner, and make the effort to contact them. This is a great strategy if you're doing your driving weekdays when fewer people are out and about, but it also takes more time and resources. It's also a great way to build a mailing list for more long-term deal-finding strategies. We listed business materials as optional, but it could be argued that you'll make the most of your driving for dollars when you leave business cards and flyers. And it's not a bad idea to leave a personal note on the front door of all your potential deals. While you're out of the car, you might as well drop a few flyers off to surrounding houses and use your Bandit signs. Post a few around the neighborhood at intersections. Leave your mark. Drop off materials, post flyers, and let the area know you want to buy houses in their neighborhood. So now you know what you need, and you know what you need to do to start finding deals driving for dollars. That's the basics, but here are a few tips to make your driving for dollars even better. Every time you hop in the car, you should view it as an opportunity to get a lead that can ultimately result in a deal. Take a different route home. Cut through target subdivisions with the intent of locating distressed and abandoned properties. Give your driving for dollars legs and use and reuse the info you gather while out and about on the road. Start a spreadsheet or other tracking tool to create a mailing list. Direct mail works, and you're mailing to an ideal target property, so it's an effective way to build a good mailing list. Mail these individuals several times a year. Your phone will ring, and it won't be uncommon to have it ring even years after you sent the mail. You can find out more about direct mail in the chapter we've dedicated to that topic. One of the keys to any real estate investor's success is knowing your market. Driving for dollars is the ideal way for new investors to get to know the key investment areas. You should get to the point that you know your investing location so well that when a seller calls about getting rid of their house, you should be able to know its price within a few grand. This allows you to quickly jump on deals and not give a seller time to talk with your competition. This will happen over time. If you've found a great area to farm deals, double down. Drive it and leave materials at target houses and place Bandit signs in the area. If you blanket it, they will come. When driving for dollars, look for mail carriers. Approach them on their route. Briefly introduce yourself and give them info that explains what you're looking for. Your goal is to have them act as your bird dog for you. Explain that if they find a house that fits your criteria and you close on it, they will collect a handsome referral fee. Mailmen know what's going on in a neighborhood better than you do, since they drive these subdivisions every day. Get to know a few of them and you will become richly rewarded. Finding the owners. Occasionally, you will come across abandoned houses while out driving. Finding the owners of these homes can be very profitable. Many times, talking to the neighbors will help you find the property owner. However, if this doesn't work, there are other options. Inside Connected Investors, you can find simple-to-use programs that can help you find the owners of abandoned homes. Since this is an important part of being a real estate investor, our community keeps an up-to-date list of these programs. Log into Connected Investors and search for the tag Find Sellers for the full list with community reviews. So that's it. The basic recipe for getting deals using driving for dollars. You need to know your destination, your exit strategy, and your target areas. Get out and drive the neighborhoods. Use the technology Connected Investors provides to help you gather and follow up on leads. Improve your chances for success using Bandit signs, business cards, and flyers with your Connected Investors web address. Driving for dollars is for investors at every level. Make it part of your deal finding strategy. Whether alone or in combination with Bandit signs, direct mail, and using bird dogs, driving for dollars works, but only if you make it work. Create your own for sale by owners. Just get out there and you can make it happen. There's a whole world of information on finding and making great deals in real estate at connectedinvestors.com. We offer a great marketplace for not only learning the real estate investment business, but also buying and selling investment real estate. As you've learned, there are a lot of effective ways to find great deals on off-market properties. No matter if you're wholesaling, flipping houses, or you're into buy and hold strategies, door knocking for deals works. It's targeted marketing at its finest and simplest. You're going direct to the source, knocking on the door and offering to buy the house. We've talked about how direct mail, Craigslist, and networking can put you in contact with motivated sellers. But we also know that most people get bombarded with ads, offers, and junk mail. So when you really want to cut to the chase and get your foot in the door, so to speak, door knocking is the most effective way to meet potential sellers. It puts you front and center. It adds a personal touch that mailers and ads just can't. And it's the quickest route to making deals. You deliver your message face to face and can start the buying and negotiating process right away. Just like most deal finding strategies, you need to identify your target areas. Once you do, you'll want to be prepared when you arrive. You're face to face with potential sellers and future referral sources, like the neighbors. So have on hand business cards, flyers outlining who you are, what you do, your script. Even if you're naturally an outgoing person, you need to prepare your opening. And if you're a bit on the shy side, it's a great idea to work up all of the talking points and then practice. Once you knock on a few doors, you'll get even more comfortable, and your conversation will flow easily. So before you head out, you need to think about your target areas, neighborhoods, and home lists. Just like when you're using Bandit signs and driving for dollars, you're not pointing yourself in the direction of affordable new starter homes. You're looking for all of the easy-to-sell areas of your community. Maybe in the area near a college or downtown. And then within those areas, you're looking for the bread and butter neighborhoods, the ones where there's a good mix of homes that need work and homes that have already been renovated or are in the process. You want to avoid the war zones, high crime areas with a lot of boarded up homes. Properties in these areas can be hard to market and move, no matter what your exit strategy. Many investors who use door knocking are also buying or creating targeted lists of homes to visit. It's like driving for dollars with a predetermined destination. These lists may include properties that are in foreclosure, the owner's in default, but the bank hasn't taken possession, so there's still time to buy before the bank sends the property to the courthouse auction. These are pretty motivated sellers, so making them a part of your deal finding is a good idea. Be sure to check out the Foreclosure chapter for more detail on pre-foreclosure marketing. Good lists can also include estate properties, delinquent taxes or code violators. Here's an added bonus. You can use these lists for both direct mail and your targeted door knocking. No matter where your target properties are, you want to be ready. So let's look at what you need when you get there. Business cards are a must. Designing an effective business card is easy. There are lots of great examples out there, but in essence, your card should include these key messages. We buy houses. Your name, phone number, and email address. A problem, a solution, and a call to action. You'll also want to be prepared with flyers to leave with the owner or the neighbor. Or if no one's home, leave the flyer with a personal note jotted on it. Something like, "Sorry I missed you. I stopped by to talk with you about buying your house. Here's my contact info. If I don't hear from you, I'll stop by again soon." Give the flyer your personal touch and sign your name. Then go visit the neighbor and strike up a conversation about the house next door, your target property, and leave your flyer and business card with them as well. The goal with your flyers is not so much to establish your credibility. You can do that in person when you meet. The goal is to get them to call you. Your flyer should answer this question for the homeowner. What's in it for me? The homeowner needs to know that you can provide them some benefit. You can solve their problem by buying their house. Keep the focus on them and include a call to action. Here are the components of an effective flyer. Your headline is the most important piece of real estate on that paper. Keep it short, simple, and to the point. It will grab their attention and get them to read on. A subheading is a great idea too. Here are some tried and true headlines and subheadings. I buy houses. As is, all cash, no fees or commission. We buy houses. Sell your house for cash in 10 days or less. Next, you want to describe that itch that needs to be scratched. In essence, the problem that you propose to solve. Here are some examples. No cash for repairs? Need to sell quickly? Facing foreclosure or behind on payments? Are you getting divorced or relocating? Inheriting a house that you need to sell? Next, offer up solutions. You've grabbed their interest with your headline and connected with their problem. So now it's time to answer the question, what's in it for me? Show them how you are uniquely qualified to solve their problem. Here are a few examples. Save thousands when you sell direct to us. No realtor commission or fees. We can close in days, not weeks or months. We pay cash and close on your timeline. We buy houses as is, where is, all cash. Finally, include a call to action. You want the potential seller to call you or contact you immediately about their property. Tell them what you do and what to expect. Here are some examples. Call now, no fee, no obligation. Call today and get your house sold tomorrow. Call us to get a written offer in 24 hours. You'll want to use brightly colored paper, and you'll also want to remind them to save this with your important house papers. It's not uncommon to get calls weeks or even months later from those sellers who aren't quick to take action. Now that you have your supporting material already, it's time to get you ready, and that means being prepared to talk to sellers. No matter your level of confidence, you need to prepare some talking points and even write out a script. The key here is your mindset. Don't anticipate the person opening the door will be angry. Instead, assume that you will be greeted as a person who has arrived to offer help in the form of buying their problem house. Go in with the attitude that you're just going to have a conversation. When the door opens, it's your window of opportunity to introduce yourself as someone who generally cares about their situation and can offer them solutions. Your goal is to create trust, so don't wing it. Even the best closers have learned from scripts and perfected their approach. Here's what you might say. Hello, I'm Ross Hamilton. I'm looking to buy a home in this area and wondered if you or any of your neighbors might be interested in selling. Do you have a couple minutes to talk? Now, if they say no, simply say something like, I understand, I've showed up unannounced. Make it sound more like a scheduling problem than you getting rejected. Next, say, if it's okay with you, I'd like to leave you a business card and a flyer, and extend your hand with your materials. They'll almost always take it. Thank them and encourage them to give you a call. Visit your website or send you an email, whichever is your preferred method of contact. If the property shows potential, don't give up. Add them to your follow-up list and include them in future mailings or door-knocking campaigns. It's also a great idea to place a few Bandit signs in the area. If you found a promising area, go ahead and double down, door knock, and place signs. So when they say yes, you need to be prepared with your talking points. On your business cards and flyers, the focus is what's in it for them, and it still is. But you also need to build rapport and establish your credibility. Casually hand them a flyer and start the conversation. Now is when you can take off-ramps and talk about unrelated things that allow you to connect with the seller. Are they wearing a sports jersey? Talk about the team. Do they have landscaping or a car in the driveway that's interesting? Take the initial conversation off the subject for a moment to create a personal connection. Then simply turn the conversation to the house. I really like this area, and I also like to work directly with the owners when I buy a house. It saves everyone time and money. Have you considered selling? Let the seller talk. Find out what itch needs to be scratched and begin the buying process. As you are preparing to door knock, here are a few key points that can get you in the door. Look non-threatening and casual. When a homeowner looks to see who's knocking, don't hide your face. Take off the sunglasses and ball cap. And keep your hands in plain view. After knocking, step away from the door 6 feet and casually look around. Stepping away allows the seller to look you over and get comfortable before they open the door. Never look through the peephole in the door, through windows. Do anything that seems too familiar or intrusive. Don't show up in your finest suit. Skip the suits and fancy bling. The homeowner doesn't want to be reminded that you're an investor. You can stand to profit from buying their property. If you drive an expensive vehicle, you may want to park across the street. Not only does it keep your car out of view, some owners are particular about who parks on their property unannounced. So that's the basic of door knocking for deals. It's not rocket science. In fact, it's more of an art than a science. The science is in identifying your target properties. The art is in finessing your approach. It's all about connecting with the seller. So find your target investment areas, create the ideal business card and flyer, and get yourself ready to talk to sellers with a casual presence, a seamless introduction, and your talking points ready. Door knocking works. You can combine it with direct mail, using your lists to identify and cherry pick your best target properties. You can combine it with driving for dollars and your bird dog leads to fast track your way to talking with sellers and getting deals to close. You can farm your target neighborhoods armed with the right marketing materials, the right mindset, and a casual yet polished approach. You can find great off-market deals to fuel your investments. Many uber-successful real estate investors and successful marketers in general use direct mail to bring in new business. For the investor, direct mail keeps their lead pipeline full of new and targeted leads. Using direct mail is like turning on the faucet to that pipeline. Do a mailing. Expect the phone to ring with leads on the kinds of deals you're looking for. Direct mail works, and that's why so many successful investors use it. It's targeted and effective, but it's not for those without some sort of budget. Homevestors, the we buy ugly houses people and proclaimed largest house buyer in the U.S., uses direct mail on behalf of their franchisees. It's not even uncommon for local investors to get mailings from homevestors as they farm the prime investment neighborhoods. They do it because direct mail works. But you don't have to be a big corporation with a huge budget to take advantage of direct mail. In this session, we'll cover the basics of putting together an efficient and affordable direct mail campaign. The key things you'll need for a successful mailing campaign include mailing lists, lists that are targeted to your types of investment deals, marketing material, including postcards, letters, business cards, flyers, and of course, postage, a connected investors buying and selling website, business email, and a phone. Using these resources, we'll show you how to pull together a mailing that results in good quality leads. If you don't have a connected investors website already, it's time to get them set up. Most consumers today look for a web presence for just about every service. If you don't have that presence, your mailing could go directly in the trash. Most investors will tell you that their web traffic increases significantly after a mailing, without fail. So when you're ready to boost business and your credibility, having a website is a must. Connected Investors members enjoy the added benefit of a web presence. But before you visit a site, there has to be a contact with your potential customer. This is where your mailing list comes in. Your exit strategies can help drive your mailing lists. Looking for fix and flip properties? You may want to farm a particular neighborhood, blanketing them with mailers. Owners in pre-foreclosure or with delinquent taxes are also good potentials. Owners without the resources to pay their mortgages or taxes are less likely to maintain their property. Want to add to your rental portfolio? Mailing to landlords and absentee owners can be a good source of deals. Looking for potential long-term holds with owner financing? You can put together equity mailings. So, how do you get started? Let's take a look at your different targeted sellers and how your mailing can appeal to each. We'll give the characteristic of each type of seller, why you want to target this type of seller, and how to execute a great mailing. We'll cover absentee owners, delinquent taxes, estates and probate, equity mailings, farming neighborhoods, burnt out landlords, and pre-foreclosures. Starting with absentee owners. These are the sellers who own property in your area but don't live there. They may have purchased the property as a vacation home or even a place for their college-age kids to reside. In any case, they intend to own and manage the property from a distance. Then there are accidental absentee owners. Maybe there was a divorce or a job relocation or even an inheritance, and they own a property in your area but don't live nearby. As with any seller, when considering an absentee owner mailing, you must consider the owner's motivation. In many cases, the absentee owner may not want to be in a big hurry to sell. Consequently, this means if you're looking to close a deal in the next 3 weeks or so, an absentee mailing isn't your first choice. But here's the deal. Many of these owners will tuck your mailer away for future reference. It's not unusual at all to get calls weeks, months, or even a year or two later. And not all of these homes are fixer-uppers. Many absentee owners maintain their properties well. So these mailings are best when you have a targeted neighborhood in mind. Combine an absentee mailing with a farm neighborhood. It will pare down your mailing list and make it more affordable and keep your acquisitions areas on target. You will also find absentee owners who live in your town but not in the property. These are typically landlords and can in some cases make good targets for mailings. We've got more on landlords and farming neighborhoods later. Putting together the mailing list is pretty simple. You can purchase a list from many list providers found online. Or if you have more time than money, you can create your own lists from property and tax record aggregators like CRS or even a more local service. Most of these services allow you to sort and download usable data, can be mail merged into labels or letters and envelopes. Look for properties that list the owner's mailing address differently than the property address. When you're working with an absentee or most any other types of lists, you'll want to exclude properties that have been purchased in the very recent past. These owners aren't typically interested in selling anytime soon. Absentee mailing campaigns should be done at least 3 times a year to keep your message fresh and top of the mind for these potential sellers. A more motivated seller is the owner of a property that has delinquent taxes. When you're considering mailing of this type, you can expect that most of the properties are owned by someone facing financial difficulties, and the house may not be in tip-top shape. But there are exceptions, so be prepared that your mailing isn't hitting only highly motivated sellers. So like in the absentee list, it's best to scrub the list and focus only on your target investment areas. And depending on your area and how aggressively the tax collector pursues delinquent accounts, you may not get quick calls back from your mailing. In many areas, the delinquent tax list can be enormous, so scrubbing the list is critical if you need to save money. You'll want to eliminate high-end properties if that's not your game, or low-end properties for the same reason, unless you're wholesaling, and any other characteristics that make the properties a bad target for you. Mailing to properties with delinquent taxes can be simple as getting a list from your local tax collector. But if your tax office will not provide the list, there are list providers out there who can, for a fee, prepare a delinquent tax list for you. From there, it's up to you to scrub the list, unless your list provider can do it for you. Ask! If you're thinking of doing a delinquent tax mailing, you should plan for multiple mailings. Just as with mailing to absentee owners, a minimal mailing time of 2 or 3 times a year will keep your message front and center for these types of sellers. Estate properties have a lot of potential, and as such are very popular among investors. You may also hear them called inherited or probate property. Many people who inherit a property don't know where to start if they plan to dispose the house, and they often welcome your mailings. But it is critical when contacting these sellers to be conscious about the situation at hand. Working with a grieving seller can be a delicate process. Many, but not all, estate properties are in decent condition, and yet they need nearly as much work as a fixer-upper because they're typically very outdated. But estate properties can be a great source of both fix and flip deals and rentals. When you're considering estate mailings, if you can find out the number of heirs involved, this can be really helpful to you. An estate property with 8 different heirs means 8 different people have to sign your paperwork. This can make negotiating an absolute nightmare. That aside, when you're considering which mailings are best for you, estate mailings should be on your list. But like some other mailings, it can take some time for the sellers to take action. If they don't call now, the owners will often tuck your information away and call you months or even years later. So if you're looking to close a deal in a week, not months, there are better targets for your mailings, such as pre-foreclosures. That fact aside, estate mailings are worthwhile and should be done at least quarterly. New properties will populate your list each mailing. To build a list of estate properties, you can purchase a list or you can create your own, either through local property records or by visiting the county's probate office in your area. Equity mailings are where it's at if you're looking for seller finance deals. Pick a farm neighborhood and then only mail to those owners who purchased their house 20 plus years ago. Some of these owners will be mortgage-free, making the perfect opportunity for seller financing. This is where you look to buy and hold properties. Building a portfolio of rental properties with seller financing can get you on the path to long-term wealth fast. Many of the sellers you'll contact may not have selling their house on the top of their mind, but chances are that when they do consider selling, they'll call you. According to Zillow, about 20 million, or 1/3 of nationwide homeowners, own their home free and clear. This makes equity mailing very appealing. Your criteria for mailing doesn't need to be mortgage-free. Just make sure your list includes home purchased a minimum of 20 years ago. Equity mailings should be done at least twice a year for best results. Farm neighborhood mailings can hit all kinds of sellers. When you choose a target neighborhood, your mailing may also hit landlords, owners with equity, estate property, pre-foreclosures, and absentee owners. When choosing your farm neighborhood, consider your exit strategy. If you're looking to wholesale or fix and flip deals, you'll want the areas where the fixers are just looking for an investor to come along and buy them up. If you're looking for solid rentals, you'll look for the neighborhoods with good rental history and that appeal to the type of tenant you seek. Farming a neighborhood is pretty simple. Even the U.S. Postal Service offers a program that mails postcards to your target areas. When planning your farm mailings, it's best to plan to mail those areas several times a year. Realtors often use farm mailings to solicit listings. So your message is this, and all of your mailings should be, "We buy houses." Whether you are using a paid search, such as the post office or another online list provider, or you create your own list through your local tax records, it's critical that you differentiate yourself from a listing agent. Landlord mailings can reach all kinds of landlords, depending on the source of your mailing list. There are seasoned landlords who own investment rentals for years and will continue to own real estate. Despite the fact that they're in it for the long haul, it's not uncommon for these landlords to move properties in and out of their portfolio. For that reason alone, they can be a great source for deals and also to network with. Then there are accidental landlords, those who own rental real estate because of circumstance. Maybe it's a relocation or an inherited house. Accidental landlords can often become the most motivated sellers in the ranks of landlords. The burnt-out landlord. They never intended to own and manage real estate, so after a few evictions and renovations, they're burnt out and highly motivated. Like any of your other mailings, you can purchase lists, you can create your own list from tax records, or you can go straight to the source of burnt-out landlords and search your local eviction records to create a mailing. If you're looking for the most motivated sellers, your best bet is to contact pre-foreclosure property. Pre-foreclosure property mailings can net a number of buying opportunities. You may contact owners whose mortgages is upside down. This is an opportunity to create a short sale. If you find an upside down property in a fantastic location, it could be an ideal short sale candidate. Don't exclude it from your acquisition strategy because there's no equity in the deal. You may also find properties in foreclosures that can be purchased subject to the existing mortgage. Good candidates for subject to acquisition include those properties that you want as a mid or long-term hold. Since you're taking responsibility for an existing mortgage, it's a great way to fund your rental portfolio. Then there are properties that have suffered from neglect and abuse. These properties can be great fix and flip candidates. Mailing to pre-foreclosure owners require more frequency. These owners often ignore the mail. They've been inundated with letters and notices. Depending on your area and the time frame for a foreclosure filing to compete, you may need to mail to this group at least twice a month. The bigger challenge with pre-foreclosure mailings is knowing when the property has actually gone to sale and the owner is no longer in possession of the home. It's either been purchased at the courthouse sale or become a bank-owned REO. Your pre-foreclosure mailing list can be purchased. You can create your own through online research, or your list can be created and managed through your local courthouse records. The availability of pre-foreclosure information is different in each area, so do a little homework to clue yourself in on the best way to tackle this. Postcards and flyers. Now that you know more about targets for your mailings, what do you send? In the chapter on door knocking, we outline the steps to create a good flyer. Those same concepts can be applied to your mailings. Whether you're sending postcards, letters, or flyers, create an attention-grabbing headline that's relevant to your audience. Present the hot-button issues for your audience. Present your solutions to those problems, and give them a call to action. You can find many great examples from the web and from your fellow Connected Investors members. So before you get started, set up your Connected Investors website if you haven't already done so. Determine your potential exit strategies. Identify your target mailings. Pick your farm neighborhoods based on your exit strategies. Determine where you'll get the lists and how you'll scrub them to eliminate properties and sellers who don't fit your criteria. All of this will determine the message in your mailings and your mail frequency. Direct mail works. That's why it's a strategy used by the most successful investors and some of the country's largest home buying organizations. It's not the cheapest way to get good quality leads, but it's one of the most effective and direct. No matter which segment of property owners you choose to target for your mailings, work toward clean mailing lists and repetition to get the best results. You can keep your deal pipeline flowing, your phone ringing, all with a great return on your investment of time and money. So your phone's not ringing with real estate deals. You know deals are out there, but what's up? It seems like everyone else is getting deals and you're left wondering why. So now you're thinking that you need something that's guaranteed to get your phone ringing. And it needs to work fast, it needs to be easy, and it needs to be relatively cheap. One time-tested recipe for getting your phone ringing with potential deals is using Bandit signs. Love them or hate them, they work. It's a recipe for success that's been proven time and time again. You've seen them. They're those small, brightly colored signs on the side of the road at nearly every intersection you drive through. They're everywhere because they work. You can have your phone ringing within days, sometimes hours, of placing your Bandit signs out for the world to see. So now that you know that you can get pretty quick results, let's look at a basic recipe for success using Bandit signs. The basic ingredients you'll need: a phone, your signs, stands, stakes or nails, and some optional options are an answering service and websites. That's it. Just a couple of basic ingredients and you can be in business. But putting together a good Bandit sign campaign takes some time to ramp up. So let's take a look at how you can put the ingredients together to transform you into a real estate deal-making machine. To get started, you need a phone, and not just your phone with your phone number. Using your own number is a bad idea. Don't mix business with personal. You want to know immediately when your potential deals are calling. It's pretty easy to accomplish this. All you need to do is set up a phone number using Google Voice or Freedom Voice. It's free. The calls come directly to your phone. They have a distinct ring, and you'll know to pick up right now because there's a motivated seller on the other end of the line. When you're getting set up, pick a local number. Don't be tempted by the 800 number because you think it will impress people into thinking you're some multinational real estate investment conglomerate. Sellers don't care, and in fact, most prefer to work with someone local. Next, you'll need to put together your signs. There's plenty of online retailers who sell signs for real estate investors. It may take a couple of weeks to get your signs if you order them, or you can make them one at a time using supplies found at Office Max Supply and home improvement stores. As soon as you get that virtual phone number, get busy designing the perfect sign. When you're thinking about the design, forget style. You want signs that are highly visible and functional. That's it. Even if you're trying to brand your business, your Bandit signs are not the place to do it. Save that for your other marketing. You've got a millisecond to convey your message to passing drivers, so keep it simple and make it bright. The most effective Bandit signs include 2 pieces of information: we buy houses and your phone number. Maybe there's also a website address on it. The best Bandit signs are printed on bright yellow plastic with black letters. Other options that work great are red and blue with white letters. These colors have been proven to work, so don't experiment. When you're ordering your signs, you need to think about how you're going to display them. You have a couple of options. You can use wire stands or wooden stakes for putting them in the ground. Just depends on the terrain of your area. The wire stakes are great in some areas, but if you live in an area with a rock-hard ground, go with the wooden stakes. You can also use button tab roof nails or zip ties for attaching your signs to poles. That's it. You've got the basic ingredients of a successful Bandit sign campaign. You've got your virtual phone number, signs, and stakes. They're ordered and on their way. Now it's time to map out a plan to put them all to work. Literally, it's time to map it out. And the big question is, where do I put my signs? To answer this question, just ask yourself, where do I want deals? What kind of deals do I want to do? You can blanket your community with signs, but you'll end up with lots of calls on properties that don't fit your criteria, whether you're wholesaling, looking for fixers, or trying to find rentals. Instead of placing them randomly, pick your target area and pick busy intersections. Put your signs in places where people stop. When they're whizzing by at 55 miles an hour, your message is gone in less than 30 seconds. As you're getting started and developing your target areas, try a few test runs. Put up a minimum of 25 signs in your target zone and test the waters. Remember, Bandit signs are all about quantity of calls, not specifically quality. You'll get all kinds of calls on all kinds of properties. You're throwing it out there to see what hits. It's really a shotgun approach. But even so, well-placed Bandit signs can target sellers who want to sell what you want to buy. Just pick your target zone carefully and you'll get better quality calls. Looking for rehabs? Well, then it doesn't make a lot of sense to put your signs in newer neighborhoods, even though they're near busy intersections and close to your house. If you're in the market for rentals, it doesn't make sense to put your signs in bad neighborhoods where the houses are cheap, but you can't attract the type of tenants you're looking for. But it does make sense to think about where you want your deals. Map it out and get your signs out there working for you every second of every day. But there's more. Like any recipe, there are always tricks to make a good recipe even better. So before you start, think about these tips to help you get absolutely the best results. You've got to answer your phone. It seems elementary, but your phone will ring and it needs to get answers. Sellers will move on. Don't get lazy and let it go to voicemail. There's potentially dollars on the other end. You've already invested time and money, so make sure those calls are answered. And if you know you can't handle the call volume, hire an answering service. It's well worth the investment, so your entire Bandit side campaign doesn't go up in smoke. Unless you're living in a van down by the river, you know you're not the only game in town. So if you live in a really competitive area and there's lots of other "We Buy Houses" signs, this is where you can make a case for making your signs stand out from the crowd. Stick with the proven colors, but maybe add a tagline that really resonates with your targeted sellers. For instance, fast cash or guaranteed offer. Whatever the hot phrase is that no one else is using, this can really help you make your signs stand out. A simple symbol, a lucky clover, a dollar sign. Choose something eye-catchy that makes your signs unique. You can visit your Department of Transportation website and get traffic counts for your targeted areas. High traffic areas where people have to stop is ideal for your signs. Not only do you need to map out a great plan for sign placement, you need to get them out there. There's a couple of ways to do this. You can do it yourself, or you can hire someone. If you're thinking about budget, it's better to hire someone to place your signs than pay an answering service to take your calls. Calls need your personal touch. Sticking the signs in the ground does not. Divide and conquer. And while we're on the subject of sign placement, we need to talk about code enforcement. Many areas do not look kindly on Bandit signs. You need to research area regulations on sign placements. Some investors get their signs placed on Friday and have to pull them back out Sunday night. Since the code enforcement does not typically work weekends, this is a great way around their schedule. Another tip for good sign placement is staying off public property. In those areas where you'd like some longevity to your signs, think more about permanent placement. This is where you can attach your signs to posts or poles or get permissions and zip ties to fences and other more permanent structures on private property. When you're looking for highly targeted marketing, driving for dollars and direct mail are the ticket. But you can make Bandit signs work alongside both of these tools. Just visited a seller or drove a neighborhood? Know of a specific house you want to buy? Get some signs up in the area. Just did a great direct mail campaign? Get signs in those mailing areas to get your phone ringing. That's it.